Good morning and welcome to Motivational Monday here on the Step by Step listening page, but also on YouTube. Today we're talking about when is it okay to cancel appointments. One of the biggest things about doing more of what you love and ditching the critic you say you can't is you have to decide how you're going to use your time. And quite often, if you're really good at organizing yourself and planning, you'll put things in the diary well in advance. And then, of course, situations change and you may have to or want to prioritize your time differently. And today I want to talk about that because if you are somebody who's sensitive to criticism, if you worry about what other people think, you might find yourself doing things that you don't really want to be doing, not using your time to the most effective because you worry about that conversation you're going to have or what people might think of you if you change your plans. So a gorgeous welcome here. Those who don't know me, I'm Cheryl Andrews. My company is called Step by Step Listening, and I'm also known as the Listening Detective. And we help you get clarity of what you want, the confidence to ask for it, and usually it's by changing the way that you listen to, invite and receive feedback. So a gorgeous welcome. So let's talk about this, the importance of cancelling appointments. One of the things I've come to realize is that at the beginning of my business and in life, I was quite happy to give loads of free appointments away. I was happy to spend time with people. I wanted to be generous. And there comes a tipping point when you're in making business relationships, you want to be friendly, you want to have friends, but there is a limit to how much time you've got. And I remember making up stories. My critic would say that other people weren't very friendly, they weren't very approachable, they weren't very available, all those sort of stories. But of course, then what happens if you're critical of people for not having time for you, when it comes to you getting busy in your business and you start to become that person that doesn't have time for everybody all of the time, then you're going to have to change the rules. You're going to have to change the way that the story that you tell yourself about when is it okay to cancel appointments. And I just want you to think about it. I remember a story back with my mum, actually. She was in her 50s. And I remember saying to her, can we make an arrangement to get together for something on Wednesday? And she said, yeah, unless something more important comes up. And I remember taking it really personally and really being offended that she didn't think I was important as her daughter, etc. But when you get context of this, my mum had really committed her life to her family, hadn't gone out very much during as she was raising us as children. She was now in her 50s. She'd met a group of girls that she called the gym girls, and she loved if they called her up and just randomly and spontaneously wanted to go out. So she really didn't want to put anything in her diary in case they did that. We did have a conversation about maybe she should just phone them and say, oh, they're available Wednesday, and go and make her own arrangements rather than waiting for them to call her. But she was wanting to create space in her diary. Now, me being more sensitive took it more like, she didn't want to see me. And it's these stories that all of us are telling ourselves about time and what people's rules are that put us into a bit of a bind about what we should or shouldn't do with our time. Another classic I heard recently that someone said, people who don't turn up on time don't respect you. And I've got another story. The people who don't turn on time often don't respect themselves. They're usually people that don't say no to other people. They rush around trying to fit too much in and trying to please too many people, which is why they sort of skate in at the last minute trying to get to somewhere. And those who they do turn up to on time might be through fear more than actually out of respect. And so we make up all these stories about time, and those stories don't always serve us. So I want you to think about now, I'd love you to share your examples, is when is it okay to cancel appointments? And one of the things that I'm aware of is people only seem to feel really okay cancelling if they're not well. So, I remember a client saying, well, because I'm not well, they'll understand, won't they? And I'm thinking, actually, people, if you've built the relationship with people, people will understand that you are human and you're trying to juggle loads. So here's my strategy. This is what works for me. If I get a situation where I did have this situation actually this week where I was given the opportunity where I could work with a group of people that I absolutely love working with. And I already had a one-to-one client booked in who I absolutely love working with. So I want to do both. So my priority is the paying client that's already booked has got the high priority, and I contacted her and said, just want to run this past you. I've got an opportunity to do some group work that I'd really love to do on the Wednesday. Any chance you could do the same time on Friday? If you can't, then you are my priority and I'll say no to this other contract. But if you can move and I can work with both of you in the same week, then that's what I would like to have happen. And so for me, it's about being okay to cancel when you know what your priorities are. Equally, if I had a coffee and chat in with somebody from networking, I remember feeling sometimes when people call me and they don't take the meeting as important, but they don't realize I want to buy. I will say to somebody that my meeting with you is really, really important, and I've got this opportunity. So I just want to check with you. Can you do half an hour later, half an hour earlier? Then I can do both. I want to be able to please both people. And sometimes they can't, but the thing is, it was always the 3-step process. You'll get used to me. The do, delegate, or ditch ultimate system is 3 core pillars. So I get clarity of what I want. So ultimately, I want to honor this appointment with this person, and I'd like to be able to do the other thing. I have to be confident in myself that whatever they say, I'm okay with it. If they say no, I can't change and I still want to keep that appointment, I have to be okay with the fact that I'm going to say no to the other one. If I'm not, then don't offer it. You have to say what you mean and mean what you say, and don't be mean to yourself and others when you're saying it. So I want you to think about, give me your examples of when it is okay to cancel appointments. Now it's for you cancelling them, but also notice when other people cancel with you, what is the story you say? If other people cancel with you and you think, well, they're not very efficient, they don't show you any respect, they don't care about things, if that's the story you have about what other people do when they do it to you, you may well be having that story about, you assume that's what other people are saying about you when you cancel appointments. So I have a story when people cancel appointments is that people are always juggling an awful lot of things to do. However, if a paid clients work with me, I have a rule they can cancel one and rearrange one, and I don't charge. But if it happens twice, they will be charged, because I also need to educate people that my time's limited. And with my business, once that hour of money is gone, I can't get the money back. I'm paid by the hour on the time, and that's really valuable time for me. Socially, fine. If nobody wants to, people want to rearrange, it's not a problem. When it comes to business, when people continually rearrange one-to-one times, that does impact my ability to earn money. And therefore, I have lots of flexibility with my clients, but there will come a time when I go, actually, this isn't working for me. So please share below in the comments. Tell us when do you think it's okay to cancel appointments? Let's share examples and stories. And basically what I know happens is, if when we can share those examples and stories, we change the story that we tell ourselves about that thing, then life becomes a lot easier. It becomes a lot easier to ask for what we want, and we become much more resilient to any feedback that we're going to get from people. And we can all do more of what we love and ditch the critic that says we can't. Have an amazing week. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again next Monday.